With Spider-Man's identity now revealed, Peter asks Doctor Strange for help when a spell goes wrong. Dangerous foes from other worlds start to appear, forcing Peter to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man No Way Home is based on Marvel comic book characters created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, directed by John Watts, starring Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Zendaya as MJ, as well as Spider-Man franchise characters Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus and Electro, with Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx all reprising their respective roles on the big screen. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe and turn on your bell notifications. Over this weekend, I will be having a whole plethora of Spider-Man content, reviewing Sam Raimi's trilogy, as well as the Amazing Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield. And on Monday, I will be having a spoiler talk discussion for No Way Home, where we can talk everything there. And that will be a live stream on Monday at 7:30 p.m. UK time. And also within that live stream, I will be doing, I'll be ranking all of the Spider-Mans in that video. If you want to stay tuned for that, if you want to be a part of the channel, I highly encourage you to subscribe and be here so you don't miss it. Engage with other fellow subscribers. It's usually a good time and we can discuss all of the epic proportions that No Way Home has provided audiences. So, with that said, this review is spoiler free, no spoilers whatsoever, which is going to be incredibly hard to talk about because this film has created a paradigm shift amongst fans across the Marvel spectrum. It is absolutely crazy. So, with that being said, my thoughts on No Way Home is this. Spider-Man No Way Home is emotional, it's heartfelt, it's dark, it's brutal, it's everything that I wanted from this film, and it ended up being so much more than that. I can say, for me, watching Tom Holland's Spider-Man interpretation, I can say I've never felt like with Homecoming and Far From Home that he was Spider-Man. But in this film, he feels as most as Spider-Man as he's ever been. And it's brilliant to watch unfold on screen. I think partly as well, I think that with No Way Home, it explores more emotional depth for his character to explore. And with his character and the nature that the writers written him as this, it's almost like they reinvented him in a sense because they've kept knocking him down a peg every single, in a matter of good things. When I say that, they flawed him time and time again. With Homecoming, with Far From Home, and now No Way From Home. And you can definitely see that Tom Holland has a great emotional range. And this is the most vulnerable that we have ever seen Tom Holland Spider-Man throughout his trilogy, and also with the incorporation of the Civil War films to Infinity War and Endgame. And with that being said, I mean, the relationship between MJ and Peter in this film, you could feel it radiate off the screen. Which, it just goes to show how close they are. When people are kicking Peter down, MJ's always there. And Zendaya done a great job in this film as well. Doctor Strange and Peter in this film have good chemistry. They play off each other really nicely, and the lines and the dialogue bounce off each other very smooth. And you can see that with Doctor Strange. You can see Doctor Strange seeing Peter and him understanding all of his emotions that he's experiencing and feeling, you know. And you can almost see that with Doctor Strange. He wants to do good by Peter, but at the same time, because Peter is so desperate, it puts Doctor Strange in a vulnerable place as well, you know. And you can see that both of them don't want to fight each other, but they have no other option but to, you know, for the sake of humanity itself, which I think is an interesting concept, having Doctor Strange think about the bigger picture for the universe, whereas you got Spider-Man, who in this film is thinking about individual justice. In Spider-Man's head, whether these people, you know, that they are villains, you know, he just doesn't want to see any of them die. And that to him is just as important as to saving the whole of the universe, which I think is some brilliant writing from the writers, which you have to give props to Chris McKenna and Eric Summers for doing that in this film. And in this film, Jon Watts definitely upped his game. These are the best visuals, the best cinematography that I've seen him bring to his trilogy of Spider-Man. Even at one moment, using a very independent filmmaking style of using a snorri cam, which captures captures Peter's ability, and I think that was a nice touch, and it just goes to show how creative they really got in this film. Now, obviously this is spoiler free, I'm not giving anything away, but all of the villains that we have seen in the trailer, I feel as if we can talk about, because the studio, the producers, the distribution team have shown that in their trailer. So I think it's only okay to talk about those people, and they made a whole panel of all of, you know, 3 of the villains talking about their experience with the film. So I don't think this is very clearly not anything spoiler based, and I wouldn't even spoil it. You know how it goes when you review these things, you got to do everything in third person in a sense. But Willem Dafoe, woo, bruh, that guy, absolutely fantastic. I was gonna almost cuss there and say effing fantastic, but this guy, I'll just say this: there's a moment that with him involved, that was literally the suspense of The Dark Knight and the brutality of the first original Spider-Man film, with some added spice on top of it. And when that fight scene was kicking off in my screening in IMAX and Enfield Cinema, our minds were blown. We were oohing and ahhing. Oh shit, it was crazy. And just to mention with the atmosphere, this was a film that I think topped the atmosphere of Endgame. Now, and I think a lot of people are going to vouch for that, and a lot of people, if you've looked at their reactions, their reviews, they'll mention the atmosphere that they're experiencing in their cinema. Or that's a UK term. If you're in America, it means theatre, but you get the gist. But I think the reason why this film it's exuded this passion and this emotion from audiences with the crowd pops, the crazy reaction. I think it's because of what everyone has seen and witnessed and gone through with the pandemic, and with the added that on top with Spider-Man, the character of Peter Parker. It's a very grounded character. He's very human, right? Especially, the last 7 days I've watched all the Spider-Man films except for the Amazing Spider-Man, which over the weekend I'm going to be sharing all my thoughts with you on those films. But the character's so grounded and so just human, and I think that is the reason why audiences resonate with this character so much, you know. And I gotta say, this is just something that I was seeing that was there. I've never seen so many, you know, different types of people watching this film, you know, and it brings a smile to my face to see, you know, children who have just left school and they're with their parents to watch this film straight after school. And whenever I see that, I know that, because I was that kid once, I know that that kid is going to do something in filmmaking or be an actor. Any kid that does that and they watch a film immediately after school, trust me, they've got the bug for acting or filmmaking. They've just got it in them. So yeah, Willem Dafoe, absolutely phenomenal. And with that said, Alfred Molina, great. Jamie Foxx as Electro. I mean, it felt like he actually stole some scenes. Like he was great. And amongst the characters, the villains, there's a great camaraderie. And obviously in between, there's jokes and stuff like that. And not all of the jokes land, but, comedy is subjective. You're going to find things that are funny, which I did. And you're going to find things that just, okay, whatever, we'll just move on, But to me, when you do comedy, I find it macabrely funny, in itself, when I see a joke that doesn't land. It just kind of makes, well, that was awkward, let's just kind of move on, kind of thing. I don't hold an agenda or a vendetta against it. It's just like, well, that was a little bit awkward, but in life people are awkward, so whatever, just roll with the punches, I guess. My only nitpick with this film would be something that made that happen in the end, and it was maybe an element of how it was directed that made me think, I don't know how to feel about that, but actually, since, this footage of this film leaked everywhere, and I went back to that specific point. And hey, look, don't boycott me, because I will be watching this film another 2-3 times in cinemas with other people to have an experience with. So, hey, look, no privacy, no fraud. I'm against all of that, but I looked at that one particular moment, and then it's like half and half for me. It's not even really a nitpick. As I said, Monday 7:30, the spoiler discussion on Monday. We can go over everything, with every Spider-Man thing, everything, and also incorporate Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse as well. How do you like them apples? But look, guys, I had an absolutely phenomenal time with this film. Me and my friends, we are never, and I mean never, gonna forget the time that we had watching that film. Amazing. And with that said, Spider-Man No Way Home goes into my Champions Academy. I'm still processing what I saw. Guys, if you've enjoyed this review, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you've seen the film, let me know. It's hard. Don't talk spoilers. Just talk about your emotions with Spider-Man No Way Home. Talk about that, because boy, I lay in my bed, looking up at the ceiling, realizing that that really did happen. As a final thought, Spider-Man No Way Home is a love letter to Marvel and Spider-Man fans of old and young, but most of all, it's a love letter to Stan Lee. Guys, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. It's what we do.